A Halfling Sonder, Sven's Story, by Illyria Valischin. He won't let me? Sven admits before finishing his sandwich and taking a swig of the juice. Yum. Cleo looks at Sven straight in the eyes. Sven, Kerp is your best friend, and you know how attached he is to Willa. But he has to realize she is a woman now and not his baby sister. She wants to be with someone and is going to start pursuing. She pauses a moment and then adds softly, because she thinks no one is interested in her. This makes Sven's mouth fall open. A shocking moment of realization and pause of thought on what Cleo has just said. He stands immediately and gives Cleo a kiss on the cheek. Thanks, he bolts for the front of the restaurant. Determined to let her know that she is wanted and desired and going to be chased by him. Cleo stands there a bit in shock at the abrupt nature of her friend. She calls out, "Remember, she likes simple things, Sven." A small smile crosses her face as she watches the door close. Sven starts thinking to himself, what is her favorite flower? Remembering the list of flowers she had said were nice in the past, his mind starts to race for the answer of which one to pick. Lilies, he questions a moment, and then shakes his head. That was his mother's. Daffodils, maybe. Roses were usual picks for most, even daisies. But none of them seem to be making Sven feel sure. He reaches the florist and begins to scan all the little bunches. But, again, nothing seems to feel like what he is looking for. They are all vibrant and wonderful to look at, but also big and flashy. Knowing Willa will not enjoy seeing such a big show, he heads for another florist in the town, hoping to find something a bit more subtle in arrangements. As he walks along the path, he starts to go over all the flowers he can think of, feeling completely irritated at himself for forgetting what flower she loved. He knows that she had mentioned it several times, but now, when it matters, he can't remember. As Sven enters the little shop, a small sign on the front of a little bucket catches his eye. A group of small and simple white flowers sit nicely in it, with the sign saying "Snow drops 5 slips." Pausing a moment, Sven is struck by a realization. "Snowdrops," he says softly. "That's it, her favorite flower. I can't believe I had completely forgotten that." He picks out the best-looking one and takes it to the counter. "Is this all?" a small halfling girl asks. Sven gives a nod and lays the 5 slips down onto the counter. Then she gives a nod and wraps the stem up in a cool cloth to make sure it lasts. "Have a nice day," she says. With the flower in hand, Sven leaves the shop and begins to think where to look for Willa. In the moment's desperation to find her, he had completely forgotten to ask where she might be. Now that he had the flower, Sven wasn't exactly sure where to begin his chase. Taking a breath, he decides to head for her house, thinking that would be the most logical place to start. But quickly finds that she is not at home, her father's shop, or any of her friends' places. Asking a few of them where they think she might have gone for the day. No one had even the slightest idea where she would be. It wasn't until he made his way back to Kerp's place did he get a clue. Kerp told him that Willa had overreacted about him being gone so long, that she had thrown a vase at his head and nearly took it clean off in her anger. Then she stormed out of the building, and he hadn't the faintest idea on where she would be now, but hoped it was to blow the rest of her temper off on someone else, leaving the little shack for his friend to continue sulking in. Sven begins to look around for her footprints, hoping to find a possible direction in which to go. Heading around to the back of the small building, he spots where she had vented out more of her anger. A worn circle and some obvious stomping marks in the sandy dirt shows she was still quite mad after leaving Kerp to sulk in his little room. Trying to focus, he searches the yard for where she had left, as the small trail of her steps kept circling around in the yard as she continued to return to the sandy dirt circle. Eventually, Sven could only chuckle at this exasperation of hers, and how she had shown her anger over the silliness in the situation. Thank you for listening to my story. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.